Hey, if you're joining us, this is your WrestleZone Wednesday night WrestleZone post show for AEW Dynamite and WWE NXT. What did you think of the both shows? Who took the night? Who had the best match of the night? Head-to-head wrestling Wednesday nights, man. They just got so exciting. We'll start in just a second. Don't forget to share the link and pass it on to your wrestling friends. Woo! Man, that was something else. AEW and Dynamite has revealed their inner circle with Chris Jericho. Kushida and Walter go to the limit. It's week 2 of the Wednesday Night War Zone. Wednesday Night Wars, AEW Dynamite or WWE NXT. How did you feel? This is your WrestleZone post show. You can enjoy this on your podcast feed. Subscribe at WrestleZone Radio on any of your podcast apps of choice, or watch this on demand on Facebook Live or, of course, WrestleZone.com. I'm Kevin Kellum, coming to you from the NBC Tower in downtown Chicago, coming us somewhere in the general vicinity of the East Coast. I will not reveal it. He is in a secret bunker. He is the boss man, Bill Pritchard. Bill, what did you think? I know you watched AEW. Our very own Robert DeFulis will join us here momentarily. He covered NXT. What are your big takeaways tonight from this week 2 of action here? One second. Let me make sure we got your mic up here. Right there. There we go, Bill. Bill, how you doing, bud?
Can you hear me?
There you are,
Hello.
Bill. Sorry about that. Had to turn the music off. Fun times, right? We're professionals. But what did you think? This is another wild night, week 2.
I like how they're putting Darby on the spotlight, and I really like the visual of Kenny Omega coming out with the barbed wire bat and the broom. Mm-hmm. I'm at least not used to seeing him like quote unquote hardcore. Like, he's more known for his in-ring work. So seeing him, step up to Moxley in that aspect was really cool. And I thought the women's tag team match was really, really solid. It built on Britt versus B. They're still not putting them together just yet, but there was a little tension after the match, and we still got a solid tag team match. So they didn't go to like a DQ or a screwy finish. I won't say like they did with anyone else, because I think that argument's dead by now, but I like how they kept the match bell to bell, and then they did that. It didn't lead to a disqualification.
So you enjoyed the AEW main event there. Let's go over to the main event of NXT, just getting off air. It was a barn burner. They ran the overrun, and they earned it very, very effectively. Robert DeFulis, you did live results for us at WrestleZone.com. How about Kushida and Walter going the limit, man? You want to say that, hardcore straight up, almost New Japan style main event, just banging out each other, every submission hold, every reversal. You got it all. But Walter of Imperium, the Austrian wrecking machine, defeated Kushida, the New Japan veteran. What did you think of that main event? They went to about 9-10 there, and we just went live.
Yeah,
something else.
They really stretched out that overrun. I would push that on the commercials, because that way you get the AEW people knowing, come over here, because the action's not done, and they delivered a 5-star match at least. This match was incredible. This night was incredible. I'm going to stand by my point 8. NXT, very consistent, very strong. Might not be the most flashy things every week, but it was very strong of a show and a hell of a main event.
Other people texting in, maybe they're catching out the AEW replay that is on right now, and everyone enjoying everything that's going on here. AEW was good for me, says Justin Root. Tim Cobb says AEW rocked tonight. Pedro Arroyo saying NXT, NXT, NXT. So a lot of mixed opinions here, and we just came off 2 big main events. Ken Gottlieb saying, yes, Kushida versus Walter was good stuff. Now, obviously, we'll hold off on saying which one we may have thought taken the night. I saw both. I watched both simultaneously with my ADD. I know how to say words and letters. Yes. But a wild night. I know you guys were following some of the traffic. Another big story coming out of here was something that AEW revealed straight up. They revealed who is this faction that Chris Jericho led to the ring with Jake Hager, Santana Ortiz, and Sammy Guevara. They were featured in the main event. But also had quite the segment in which they took a shot at creative. Another shot here by AEW over to the NXT side. They put up the T-shirt. It already shut down Pro Wrestling Tees in an hour, so an impressive thing by them. But fans online not feeling this Inner Circle name of this new faction over in AEW. What do you think of that, Bill?
I like it. I mean, it's not like team this or the group. I think I might be in the minority, but I was like, okay, Inner Circle, if you're in an Inner Circle, you're kind of in a clique. And I kind of thought of it that way. So maybe it's not a direct reference, but I like how it's not an obvious name, like mashing up their names or, going the obvious route. I thought they did a good job. This is one of the better factions. Like, I'm honestly really not a fan of large groups like that. Like when TNA or WWE did it, it's like, okay, they start off hot and fizzle out. Like, I feel like this one's well-rounded. Obviously, it's only week 2, but I like this group. I like the name. Like, I'm good with seeing where this goes.
Mm-hmm. Other people following us on Twitter over at WrestleZone.com. We asked them, what show did you guys like tonight? Doug McDougall saying AEW without a question. AEW won hands down. Another person here. A lot of people feel like it's AEW, but, some people saying like NXT on USA, says Joe Buckyman 7. Buckeye Man. I just didn't say Bucky Man. Of course, I guess he's from Ohio here. So a lot of mixed opinions on this.
Boo.
Boo, you're booing the Ohio people here. Boo. Other mixed feelings here about this Inner Circle name. Donald Circle says, Inner Circle sounds like a reggae cover band or a Pat Metheny track, so I'm cool with it. So he's into it here.
So Inner Circle is, and Lavelle brought this up, a few people brought it up. Inner Circle, you might not know the name, but they're responsible for the Cops theme song, Bad Boys.
So maybe that's where they got it. I get where it's like they're like the Illuminati, they're like the cool power players behind the curtain. I get the idea of the name, but I will say this: I didn't like the name. Maybe it'll grow on me. I didn't like the New Day the first time I heard it, but it grew on me.
Yeah, but that came with all the vignettes. Like, that's understandable. I mean, I could see where this is going to be hit or miss. Mm-hmm. You're allowed to have an opinion.
Yeah, yes, you're allowed to disagree. You guys are watching live for the first time. Get your comments on screen, like Thomas Blair saying AEW was awesome here. You guys listening to us on the podcast side, you're not live, hit us up on Twitter. We're reading your tweets as well at WrestleZone.com here. Evangelista Moses Alicia says NXT #1 all the way. AEW will have an old wannabe ex-WWE wrestler. We're already taking shots here in the comments. We're already taking shots.
Why are we not talking about Roderick Strong's penis?
Yeah, Bill, you may have missed that here. And another
one of the two things I know about the show
of NXT was a great match between Roderick Strong and his opponent Swerve Strickland here. I have to adjust my microphone for some of you guys.
It's Swerve Scott these days, but I like Strickland. I like Scott. He's really good. I think he could be a major player for them anytime they want. Former Evolve champion. He's just really good. However, Roderick Strong was just better. I felt like this was a showcase for Strong. He beat him with the Walls of Jericho, which is the stronghold. I'm sure somebody's going to connect some dots there. And then
we're taking a shot at Jericho because he left. Bill, they did that because they're taking a shot. You can see where Triple H is scared. They are scared. They are rattled. They know that their $1 billion empire is going to fall. That's the reaction on the internet right now.
That's real, I'm sure. And then Velveteen Dream comes on stage on this like elevated ramp thing, and they drop the lasers, the smoke, the presentation looks great, and he airs the Instagram photo that Roderick Strong put out of just the North American title covering his crotch and nothing else, and they photoshopped that title away and revealed a very small sensor blur and like a no emoji, and Roderick went crazy.
I don't want to laugh at it, but it's we've seen this, Bill. We've seen this many, many times at WWE where they do the Photoshop, like, hey, I'm going to cut a promo on you, and then I'm going to swing to my PowerPoint presentation here that also makes fun of you. And this is the best use of that I've ever seen. Yeah. It's pretty risque. It's definitely not TVPG by any means. And Marina Shafir, Strong's wife and also NXT superstar, she responded to this on Twitter. I thought this was very, very funny. She posted a picture of herself with Roderick Strong. She was in a wheelchair at Walt Disney World, and she said, "This is a picture after our wedding night." And she's in a wheelchair. I thought it was quite hilarious, quite subtle. What do you think of this? This is pretty testy, pretty. Like I said, it's pretty risque for WWE to go in this direction, and Velveteen Dream was the best guy to deliver it. In terms of attitude, I thought this was the most attitude displayed all night in terms of humor.
Interesting use of word there, Kevin. It was very testy. Marina Shafir, first of all, get yourself loyalty, as loyal as Marina Shafir is to Roderick Strong. I thought this was a hell of a segment. Definitely the highlight of the show in terms of promo work. This is right in the middle of everybody going nuts about Jericho going, oh, there's the photo. Look. You can't make that up.
Bill gets it. Bill's on point.
You can't make that up. That's not Photoshop. She's in a wheelchair. Roderick gets results. The end.
He's strong.
He is strong.
Pretty ridiculous here. So that was a great turnout there. We'll see Velveteen Dream versus Roderick Strong, a rematch from the first week of NXT on USA. That'll be in 2 weeks for the North American Championship. We also got Tommaso Ciampa coming out to the ring with what many people thought was the line of the night in NXT, simply saying, Goldie's coming back. Welcome back, Goldie. I think it's going to be something else. I don't know when we're going to see that. I thought maybe we were going to see Finn Balor get more of that shot. We only saw him in a vignette package tonight saying all the things he did on the WWE main roster since he left NXT and now he's back. What do you think of them going with Ciampa first and not going with Balor, Bill?
Ciampa's, I'm going to say, the hotter act, even though we haven't seen him in a while. He's kept himself on social media. I think a lot of people were sour on Balor on the way out. Like, you know, people were just thinking, okay, Bray Wyatt's going to squash him and he needs time away to regroup, whether it's coming back as the Demon, whatever. But I mean, I'm glad to see him on a new brand, but I'm going to say it wasn't enough time yet. Like, people have wanted Ciampa to come back ever since all this stuff happened. So I think strike while the iron's hot. People are going to be invested in him. Why not go with him?
Now, you got to see this open up AEW. They were two really, really strong matches to open up both shows. But I really feel the Bucks losing to Private Party in an upset was just shocking. What do you think of this? First round of the AEW Tag Team Tournament to crown their first Tag Team Champions. This is a surprise. They were the number one seeded team. It was something Jim Ross kept saying over and over again. Very big talking point there. But what do you think of the Bucks? Essentially, they're not going to be the first AEW Tag Team Champions. We know that now.
I like it. I'll actually, I can't find the post now, but I said this about 2 weeks ago. I was like, they need to do something like this to start the tournament. Private Party can upset them. If I thought there was going to be interference that cost somebody the match tonight, I thought this one maybe would be it.
I agree.
Kevin, Robert, and Bill drink more bubbly.
Yeah. Not yet. We got to hold off on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the decision. I mean,
yeah. A lot of action in the ring, a lot of all over the place style stuff. Very much the Bucks style, which people think is, Jim Cornette. We've heard them critique them for years. But what do you think of this? This thing was lightning fast. They were doing moves all over the place, and it's going to be a lot of presentation. And they're really trying to single in that style of, hey, we're new, we're fresh. Look at what we can do in the ring. Do you think this match achieved that in terms of just, hey, look how separate we are? Where over on NXT, they had a really strong match. It was Drew Gulak versus Lio Rush. We'll talk about that match with Robert here in a second. What do you think of the juxtapositions of the showmanship of on one side, we're going to try and give you more, faster speed. On this side, we're going to try and slow the pace down. Because that difference between the two shows while you're watching your channel flipping, that's for me, I'm watching both. What do you think of that? The stylistic differences as we get into week 2. What are you seeing that's different from one show to the other? That's just there. We're sticking with this. They're sticking with that.
I'll say this week, from what I watched and what I read from NXT, they did a lot better job of not following each other, not copying each other. Not that they're doing that in a live format, but last week it was like, okay, we opened up with this match. The women's matches, I think, went on at the same time last week. Like, now they're kind of doing their own thing where Private Party in the Bucks was the right decision. Started off with the hot match. And then on the other side of things, I think going with the title change was the right thing. People are invested in Lio Rush. So it's not the same type of match, but you're still, now with Lio as the champion, you're going to get a lot more fast-paced action than you were seeing with Gulak. As much as I liked him as champion, I think that was the right move, getting the belt off of him. I think he did enough with it.
What do you think, Robert? Lio Rush, Drew Gulak opened the show. Lio Rush definitively winning the belt clean. I like the little segment there at the end where William Regal was going to put the belt on Lio Rush, the ceremonial title change. But Drew Gulak said, no way. I'll give you the title, and I'll give you a bad look, and I'll shake your hand. What did you think of that?
Any other night, any other time period, this would have been match of the week, match of maybe even the month or even year. This is a good match. But this really speaks to where the competition is in 2019, that this match is just sort of seen as run-of-the-mill. It was a great match. Good on Lio Rush, who was gone for so long, and he came back with a bang, and now he's NXT Cruiserweight Champion. And I thought it was a great match. I didn't think it was going to beat anything AEW had as soon as I heard what they were starting with, because, wow, what match quality that was on TV at 8 o'clock on Wednesday night, October 9th. Incredible.
I agree. Overall, it's kind of hard for me this week because I watched both simultaneously to pick one as the definitive winner. But, no matter, before we get to it, and everyone watching, you guys will be able to sound off as well. Everyone listen, you can hit us up on Twitter. I got to say, this is getting really fun. Week 2, this is just overall really, really fun. It's hard to cover. It's hard to tweet about both. But if I get in the right studio here, I got one screen over here. I got one screen in front of me. I got the Twitter up. It is very stimulating, to say the least. I haven't eaten today, and I don't feel hungry. And the reason I bring that up is because of just how all-encompassing this feels as a wrestling fan. Do you think we're going to see more as the weeks go on? We have a lot of people picking sides here already in the comments. We had somebody earlier, I believe it was Chris Green, saying, I'm trying to find the comment here. Here we go. Chris Green saying, after tonight, I'm 100% watching AEW Live and NXT on DVR. Morrow is really grating. I disagree with you on that. But Walter and Kushida saved the show. Did you watch the same show that I watched? Because I don't think NXT had a wasted match tonight. It felt like everything paid off, even the little run-in segment there with Grimes laying out somebody really quickly and getting out of the ring before Killian Dane could get him. It had a story to it. It developed to something. We're going to see Killian Dane and Grimes on him. And if Grimes can keep winning matches quickly and avoid Killian, I liked that. It was a very unique dynamic. I liked it. It felt special. I also like Bianca Belair setting herself up for a title change. Rhea Ripley wants that. I think Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair, now that's a collision. That's a match. It's two different personalities. I enjoyed it. Over on AEW, I thought they built up the Kenny Omega, John Moxley situation. I thought Moxley and Omega are a fair match. But I will say this. I didn't think Moxley had this barn-burning performance we were expecting. He came out to a huge ovation. I thought they had a good match. I didn't think it was great. I didn't think him and Sean Spears tore it down. It felt like we're going to get through this. Here's the end of the match. It was kind of hard for them to follow what the Bucks and Private Party did earlier in the night. Am I correct? Bill?
Sorry.
That's all right. That's okay, Bill. Bill, we got an issue? Can you still hear me, Bill?
Yep.
All right. What did you think of Moxley coming out tonight?
I thought he came right out of the gate. Looked good. I like how they paid attention to the elbow. You know, it's not like, okay, we're going to forget about it. They can use it in a few weeks. I don't want to say I feel like both of these guys needed a win, but I'm not really surprised Moxley won. I feel more like what are you going to do with Spears? Like, this was a no-win for him because I feel like they're building Moxley to face Omega, so he's going to keep winning. But it's like, what do you do with Spears where you built him up as, you know, a threat to Cody and he loses? And then, you know, they built this matchup and he loses. So, like, he lost. He didn't win the Battle Royal, so he's over right now. So I'm more concerned about where he goes from here because Moxley's an established name. So is Jericho, so is Cody. Like, yeah, you know Spears, but I wouldn't call him a household name. I wouldn't call him like a big star yet. He's going to need to win. He's going to need some momentum. Like, I'm curious to see what he does here. Match for these.
Go ahead, Bill. I do want to bring this up though. The show closing segment for AEW, very frantic match, a big tag team match. Dustin Rhodes, Hangman Page against Jericho and Sammy Guevara. A good match, not nearly as good as the show opener, which I thought was the best tonight for AEW. But this and show closing fracas with the Inner Circle, Hangman getting into it. Obviously, it seems like he's going to be paired off with Hager to have a match at the pay-per-view coming up at Full Gear. That's the direction I kind of see that going. But then, you know, MJF comes down to the ring. You were in the arena backstage last week with him. You asked him one heck of a question that seemed to get us into a whole bunch of trouble when you asked him if he threw the hot dog into the ring. People can watch the clip. It's up on YouTube. Go to WrestleZone's YouTube channel. 15,000 people have already enjoyed it. You could be one of them. What do you think of the tease tonight? He came down to the ring. He had the chair. Jericho held up Cody and said, now you can hit him with the chair. And all of his goons were around him. But MJF took out the Inner Circle, cleared the ring momentarily, only to be laid out himself. And he ate the code breaker for his misdeeds of not lining up with the Inner Circle. MJF could have turned heel tonight, but they didn't do it. Are they still teasing that? Is the payoff in the long tease for Cody? Because he's not the Cody MJF thing. It just seems like a match made, just built up on the anticipation.
I want to say that it's gonna happen at Full Gear, but I'm actually enjoying the long tease because it's not even like dissension. It's almost, you could say, MJF's lying through his teeth and still acting like a best friend. But I loved what they did tonight. Like, he ran out last week. He was like, oh yeah, I was getting my Whirlpool session and my massage. That's why I didn't come help him. Tonight he came help him. And that's exactly what I said. I put it up there. I was like, he did the right thing tonight. He put Cody first. He put the friendship first. He didn't worry about all this other stuff. So there's that, you know, from our end, like, that was a lot of fun last week. But I like how they're at least showing he's loyal to a point, even though there was those hesitations with the chair. And then somebody else pointed out he slapped somebody's hand away after they all regrouped. So
yeah, this with the Bucks. I was going to bring this up. One of the, once the Bucks got in the ring and they saved the day at the end of the segment, and Dustin got in there and they were checking on Cody and checking on MJF. MJF just kind of slapped their hands away, like he's not with them. I'm not cool with them. It was a nice little detail. I enjoyed it. So overall, I want to know, what do you give it out of 10, Bill? Out of 10, give you a score, 1 out of 10. And then I'm going to get a score from Robert. And then I'm going to tell you which show I thought was better of the two, because I watch both. We'll find out right now. Let's get our verdict. Let's go with Robert. I haven't heard from you in a second. NXT tonight, outstanding showing. Maybe they don't get the ratings tomorrow if the trends from week 1 continue. What do you give it? 1 out of 10 on tonight's NXT taking over USA.
7. I think this is going to be the pattern going forward for the first few months. AEW sounds like it was the better show because everything feels so eventful, so fresh, so new. This was par of the course for NXT, but that's never a bad thing. So 7 for me.
7 for you. Bill, what do you give AEW Dynamite on TNT?
I was going to say a 7.5. I mean,
right.
it wasn't, it wasn't a bad show by any means. Last week was a little more exciting. You crowned the new women's champion. It was new, so everybody had a lot of hype going into it, a lot of expectations. This show, the Private Party Bucks match was great. I enjoyed the women's tag match. I liked the segment with Jericho, his promo. It was solid. The main event, it is what it is. Like, I kind of expected the heels to stand tall. I think we're used to that in wrestling, where that's a thing. You want the baby faces chasing, finally get the upper hand. Everybody looked great in the match. Everybody looked fresh. Like, Dustin Rhodes looks like the best he's been in a few years, but there wasn't anything that I would say blew my mind away. It was just a solid show. 7.5 is not bad.
7.5 is not bad either.
Because somebody will say that.
But I really think it speaks.
It's not supposed to be you.
It really speaks to where wrestling is at right now. That we're like, yeah, these shows were good, and these shows are freaking amazing by 2 years ago standard, 3 years ago standards. It's just wrestling quality is so high right now.
It is, and the quality is through the roof. So which show was better? I watched both simultaneously. Which show did I enjoy more? Which one took the week for me? And I'm going to say I don't think either one was better. I thought they were neck and neck this week.
Boo! No.
Boo me. Don't boo me. Bill, am I in trouble? You're the boss. Should I have to pick a side? I should have to pick a side, shouldn't I?
Yeah, just pick.
Right. There you go.
I'm going with NXT. Well, I'm going with NXT. After watching both, I felt that AEW had a better storytelling night in terms of moments, in terms of the fracas at the end, in terms of the stuff they did with Omega and Moxley. I thought that. But I definitely feel that NXT just had better matches and told their story bell to bell within matches. Strong looked like a good champion. I thought he looked good. Lio Rush opened up as a new champion, the Cruiserweight champion, rebooting that title for NXT. I thought that was great. I thought the ending of Walter being this new dominating, you can push me to the limit monster, but you will not defeat me. I thought that looked great. I enjoyed it. I like it. I like where this is going. And I like the developments they had outside of the ring. But I thought NXT had a better in-ring night. For me, it's always what you do bell to bell. You can do all the Gaga stuff, and that fills out stories and makes for fun things. But when I watch wrestling live, I remember who had the better matches. That's just me. And I enjoyed NXT a little bit more. Doesn't mean I didn't have fun with AEW. And I really feel like WWE has to up their game. And really, you feel that tension in the performance that everyone is going out. I think AEW is a better show because they know what they're up against. And I don't buy. I know you were back there, and I don't think he was lying. But you were backstage last week and at the Capital One Center, and the question in the media scrum was thrown to Tony Khan, the AEW president, that they didn't have enough time to monitor NXT. And I'm not saying that Tony Khan wasn't being honest, but Bill, do you believe for a second that they don't know what the other guys are doing, that they don't know what's going on in the other channel? Because I know for a fact, whatever NXT is going on in their control room, they got a screen with AEW on. There's no way they don't.
I'm going to take his word for it. Maybe people are texting or watching social media on their phones, but I don't necessarily think they're, tuned into USA Network right there.
And he could be honest in saying, I'm not watching it. Doesn't mean someone on our team isn't, he fair in that way. But let's see what fans are thinking as they kind of chime in here. You know who they are, hot for NXT. He liked that. Justin Root said AEW was all new for me. He liked it. And Anthony St. Peter saying, I loved watching Darby enter on a skateboard. Yeah, that was a highlight. Him skating down to the ring. That was crazy. He skated past Jimmy Havoc. They had a good match, by the way, too. Strong match. But I thought Strong and Isaiah Swerve had something better. I believe they were on around the same time. April Sotero says NXT stepped up tonight over AEW. That's the side she's picking. And James texting in here is saying AEW probably get a 1.3 million tomorrow. NXT will get around 1 million. Oh, we're already guessing on ratings.
We're guessing the numbers. I think AEW
ratings.
I think AEW keeps taking it for now.
Yeah, what do you
wears off.
we predict ratings now? Because that's so easy to do, right?
I'm going to say AEW draws around the same. I'm not going to think they're going to get a big jump from week 2, but I still think they're going to win the week. I think the smart answer is NXT is in it for the long haul. Triple H said that. So, everybody gets excited over this stuff, I guess, because we're used to it from WWE and WCW and then Raw and SmackDown and all that. But right now it's just more of a fun discussion. I don't think either side is like panicking if they win a week or lose a week.
I think it was a nice, novelty win for AEW, but I think they continue winning. The gap is going to close. They're going to win, but not by much. I won't throw out any numbers because I have no clue, but I think they're going to win, but not by much.
Now, Bill, there was a threat tonight. Not a threat, really, but circumstantial more than anything.
I was threatened last week.
Major League Baseball potentially preempting the coverage, that coverage flipping over to TNT for TBS. If they had a conflict between 2 playoff games that they were airing tonight. And thankfully that didn't happen. AEW is prepared for that. Another Warner channel, True TV, was airing all of it. So is that going to affect the rating if they're on 2 different channels? I would assume it could, because they could be rated differently if they're on 2 different channels. Are they going to get, it's like, I don't know how that works with the dynamic of that or how that skews the rating in any way.
Yeah, I would say the whole thing was a little confusing when we first found out about it, because people thought it was going to be only on True TV, then found out that it was going to be like simulcasted, and the 2, like, they'll be measured differently. So I don't know if for wrestling purposes, people are going to add them both up. I'm sure the pro AEW people will be like, AEW dominated them last night. Like, but it's a TNT show. So I think you have to look at that number.
Yeah, and everyone's going to.
I think advertisers are going to do that too. Like,
yeah, we get it. We're in media. We understand a bigger headline is AEW destroys NXT in the ratings. I saw somebody post that last week. They were destroyed. No, if you're destroyed, you aren't going to be there next week.
The funny thing is, I think that was like Variety. It was like some major entertainment.
Oh no, it was wrestling media. I don't have to say who.
Yeah, it wasn't mainstream. It's always wrestling media when you.
Well, then in that case, we know who
editor. The editor of WrestleZone.com. He says this is the editor of WrestleZone.com here.
It's funny watching stuff like that, because you see like the Rap and Variety and all these like mainstream publications, and they're just like, oh yeah, it's another week of TV. WWE was top 3 show of the week, but then you'll get a wrestling website and it's like, oh yeah, they got buried in the ratings. I'm like, no,
they're dying.
No, they still did very good. They're still drawing.
NXT only had a 2.5, but they were number 3 in their demo or something. It'll always be something like that with Raw and stuff like that. Everyone's like crowing about AEW, and it was game-changing ratings that they beat WWE head-to-head. It's absolutely, there's no way you can't say this is one of the biggest wrestling stories of the year. But then 2 days later, WWE premieres on network television, has their highest rating in 2 years. Like, that's insane. Like, this is, like, Bill, like, this is the most turbulent, crazy, entertaining, engaging time to cover wrestling. Am I correct?
I'm having more fun than I have in a long time, and that's saying a lot, because this, going back to last October has been pretty crazy. So seeing like everything that's happened since January with AEW, all the StarCast stuff, now you have NWA, Impact is in a good spot. Like, there's a lot to be excited about.
Absolutely. So much to follow. Now, if you're joining us for the first time, you guys can get more of this WZ Daily streaming on Facebook Monday through Thursday. We're going to even have a bonus show. Robert and I have decided we have to do another show on Fridays now. And that'll be coming up Monday through Friday now. Whew. You can get it around 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, 6 p.m. Eastern, live streaming, so you can join into the chat. And if you want to get all of it, you get the audio. You can't listen live, don't want to watch it on Facebook, don't want to have your screen, just want the audio in your ears. Go subscribe to WrestleZone Radio on your podcast app of choice. I know iTunes changed, but you can still subscribe to us on Apple. We're going to hopefully be on Spotify by the end of the year and all that fun stuff. If you want us on YouTube, you got to keep kicking our butt. Keep hitting that like button. Maybe we'll jump over there on the Tubies tubes. But Bill, thank you so much, boss man. What do you think of our job so far doing all these Warzone specials?
I'm having fun watching and participating. I think not only watching the shows as they are live, this gets us involved a little bit more. So, hey, more wrestling.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Robert will join you tomorrow with me on the Daily. And you and I are going to have a mock WWE draft, all right? And we're gonna get into a mock WWE draft. Who's going to go to Raw? Who's going to go to SmackDown? NXT's not going to be involved. Bill, prediction: who's going to be the number one pick in the draft on Friday?
Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns
seems like an easy bet. If you guys were turning heel, I'd say go with Baron Corbin.
Corbin. I'm going with Becky Lynch. Robert, I will see you tomorrow. We'll jump right into it, right?
Alrighty.
All right. Thank you guys so much for following everything we do at WrestleZone.com. There's so many choices in wrestling media. So the fact that you stick with us is something we really, really appreciate. Once again, go to WrestleZone.com for everything wrestling. Robert, when they watch wrestling, there's something they need to do. I know we debate and speculate which is better. Why did they do this move? Why didn't they do that? What's the thing they need to do?
They need to threaten to cancel everything. No. They need to enjoy wrestling.
Oh, thank you. I thought we were going to get canceled there.
Yeah. Yikes.